Premier League primetime on tape. Jose, Cyrus, and Andre. And you know that Daveye don't play. In the field, they can talk about it all day. Look, and we moving up. You can try all you want, can't move like us. When it all comes down, they choosing us. And I do gotta say, we don't give a fuck. Premier League primetime, and it's only that. Speak only facts. Say what I want, can't hold me back. Can't hold me back. Premier League primetime, better yet, it's my time. You stay on the sideline. Say what I want, can't hold me back. Premier League primetime.
Hello and welcome back to Premier League Primetime, and I'm here with a very, very special guest, my mate Rich, my Crystal Palace fan. How are you, my guy?
Yeah, I'm doing great. First and foremost, thank you so much for obviously inviting me onto your channel, to your platform. You're looking dapper.
Right.
Suited up. I see you.
Literally everyone to this day and I'll just see in the comments, what is this lad doing in a suit? Like what is he playing at? And I'm just like, yo, I'm setting myself apart from my other co-hosts. It's just like my thing. Anyways, let's get right into the video. And who other we can talk about than your beloved Palace side, Crystal Palace. Before we get into the thick of the topic here, can previewing a potential January transfer window for Crystal Palace. They've been beyond impressive for me this season. I mean, first of all, Patrick Vieira, how impressed are you with the job he's done with this Palace side?
Honestly, phenomenal job. I've said it time and time again. We've gone from Roy Hodgson, who stabilized us as a club, but we were playing part the bus football, in fact, parking coaches, lorries, trucks, you name it. We had no intention of attacking. To Patrick Vieira, who a lot of pundits shamelessly were like, oh, he's going to get sacked first. Palace are going to get relegated.
You want to know something funny about Patrick Vieira? All my coaches, every single one of them, I think, other than Sears possibly, because, I mean, he's an Arsenal fan, so, of course he's going to be biased towards Patrick Vieira. But every single one of them were saying Patrick Vieira is going to get sacked first, and I said, no, it's going to be Zisco from Watford. And I was right. So, that was the one that I have one over my coast. But Patrick Vieira, he's just brought a totally different style of play, and it seems like the Palace fans are really enjoying it.
No, he's been fantastic. He's been brilliant because, like I said, the way we've changed the way we've played as well is a huge factor in this. We're now not afraid to go at teams, whereas before we'll kind of just sit back and try and counter. It's just so odd because obviously there's been games where we were not expected to win, which we've won. There's games that we were expected to win that we haven't. And there's other games in between that we just needed to hold on and we couldn't, and we're conceding late goals, like late equalizers, which is frustrating. But it's just crazy to look back at it so far, first half of the season, to think that we could easily be in like the top 6. But we're sitting at 11th, so I'm not complaining whatsoever.
No, of course not. And I'll make a bold prediction. I predict Crystal Palace will get top 10 by the end of the season.
That'd be a great season.
That'd be a very, very good season. If they got top 10, that'd be a great season for them, honestly. And they're having a fabulous season right now. But let's get right into the stay or go, keep or sell. We'll start off with Vicente Guayita. Now, some people may be thinking, why on earth would one include Vicente Guayita? He's been fabulous.
I will tell you exactly why.
And for me, sometimes when I look at Guayita, look, he's been a great servant to the club, but just form has in the past years has just dropped just slightly, and you could tell. And also, he's 34 years of age. He's not getting any younger. Would you keep him around for just the present, or would you just say no, cash in and bring in someone new? You also have Jack Butland there as well, a great backup goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, VG's been a superb servant for us. He's a great shot stopper, but we're playing a new brand of football, and we actually now need a goalkeeper who can play up from the back. It sounds crazy, and that shows you how much football's changed, where the emphasis is not so much so on his shot stopping skills anymore. It's actually, can he actually play football, which unfortunately he can't. So I would have him go. Jack Butland, it might take a few games for him to maybe even solidify a number 1 spot, because he is better on the ball. But in all honesty, I really hope we go in for someone. Now, an ideal replacement, even if it's just on loan, will be Dean Henderson.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be a really good loan. Although he would have to be first choice. He could not be sitting on the bench at Crystal Palace.
No, 100% to be first choice. But I reckon unfortunately, he'll probably end up going to like Ajax or Newcastle, in my personal opinion.
For me, I see Dean Henderson going to Newcastle if anywhere, because Newcastle literally just won the lottery. They won the lottery with those new owners. Honestly, and look, my role is to be unbiased, and that's just who I am as a person. But personally, I hope Newcastle get relegated. I think the entirety of the Premier League hopes that Newcastle get relegated. Honestly,
you're not lying. There's a lot.
The entirety of the Premier League I guarantee is hoping that Newcastle goes down. Enough about Newcastle. Next, you have James Tompkins, very similar to Vicente Guayita, great servant for the club, but he's not getting any younger. 32 years of age. And we've seen, one thing I have to praise Patrick Vieira for is that he got rid of the people like Andres Townsend, who, he could have kept around for some squad depth, but he brought in this whole youth revolution, bringing the likes of Yoki Manderson, Olise. You have the likes of Conor Gallagher, who I will waffle on about later because he's just been, if I start talking about him, we'll be here for an hour. Odsonne Edouard, fantastic striker from Celtic. I mean, and you can see what Vieira is trying to do with his whole youth movement. Mark Welly as well, or Guehi from Chelsea. Yeah. So you can definitely see what he's trying to do. But James Thompson, definitely not. He's definitely on the older side. Would you keep him around, or would you say no? Time.
I would, because we're actually really light in this department. Now, at the moment, we've got obviously Anderson and Gay, who are starting two centre backs. They've been brilliant. Then we've got Tompkins, and then we've got Kelly, and that's it. So we actually need, across our whole back line, we actually need to strengthen in that back five area. Goalkeeper, we need another right back until Nathan Ferguson gets fit, hopefully. We need a cover left back in case Harry Mitchell gets injured, and we need cover centre backs too. So, we've got a lot of work to do, not only this January, but in the summer as well, to try and strengthen. Going forward, I think we've got enough cover, but for the meantime, I'll definitely keep Tompkins.
Fair enough. Next, Luka Milivojevic, and
he can go. Next. You can. Oh no! Listen. Oh man, he's just, his legs are gone. There's nothing that he can offer us. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for those penalties.
Yep, I was gonna say a Serbian Jorginho is what I call him.
And that's a disrespect to Jorginho.
Take away the footballing. Yeah, great servant, but yeah, his legs have gone. Jeffrey Schlupp. He's actually an interesting one. He's in and out of the team selection for Patrick Vieira. He's been mainly deployed as a central midfielder, occasionally out wide. But for me, I think his best position was when he was at Leicester as a left back. That could be potential cover at left back. Would you keep him around, or would you say, no, we can get better?
His versatility is very crucial. It's very key for us. For me personally, I think his best position is actually on the wing. He's played a couple of games in centre mid recently, and it just hasn't covered himself in glory. But because he can play in multiple positions, I would definitely keep him. It's definitely a utility player and definitely a useful squad player.
Definitely, I agree with that. And before you're talking about right backs, well, there's a right back for you right there, Nathaniel Klein. On a free
stay fit either.
Definitely on the older side. It's not getting any younger. Definitely injury prone, very injury prone. Keep him around for just the meantime until the summer. Would you say no? Get rid of him?
Once again, because we're just so light in that department, we just have to keep them for the meantime. But in the summer, Tompkins, Klein, I hope they move on to pastures new, to be honest.
I mean, you have Joe Ward and Martin.
Yeah, but we need better.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
We have Nathan Ferguson, who's an absolute brilliant player, brilliant talent, young as well.
I've heard a lot of things about him, Nathan Ferguson.
He hasn't played a minute for us because of injury since
definitely. Yeah, and in regards to Nathan Ferguson, do you see him similarly rising through the Crystal Palace like youth ranks and now to the first team, similarly to a certain right back who I love and adore at Manchester United, who we bought for £50 million and who's currently injured. I love him, I really do. And look, I have been getting criticized because I keep saying Aaron Wan-Bissaka should be our first choice right back, and everyone's like, no, Diogo Dalot, he's really good. And that's actually a question I want to ask you. What did you think? What do you think about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and especially at his time at Crystal Palace?
Number one, for us to get 45 million plus add-ons for him, we were laughing.
Yeah, I agree.
We were laughing. As a 1v1 defender, he's brilliant. It's just positional sense sometimes can let him down when it comes to crosses.
Oh yeah, I've seen loads of that. Yeah,
and then obviously with regards to going forward, he played under Roy Hodgson, so he didn't really go forward anyway. So obviously of a club like yours, the level steps up, and since he's obviously joined you, he's defended well for the most part.
Very well.
But
he's a brilliant defensive.
He's expected to attack more, and I think this is where his flaws are highlighted, which brings about Dalot. Now Dalot is a better attacker, but is weaker defensively. And it all depends on systems as well. Obviously, Rangnick loves his wing backs going forward and stuff, and it's gonna be very difficult for AWB to get back in that side.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I adore Wan-Bissaka. I think he's such a fantastic player. I think he can definitely develop and flourish under Ralph Rangnick. And I think with better coaching, I mean, let's think about it. He's had two coaches that don't suit him at all. He's had Roy Hodgson, very pragmatic, and he's had a manager whose name I just don't feel like saying, or also for me, it will ring depression for me because the first half of the season.
Sing the song. Go on.
No, I'm not singing the song. I'm not singing the song. I made that mistake. I learned from my mistake. We literally lost twice in a row at home to you guys. Well, I think it was 3-1 the first time, and 2-1 the first time, and 3-1 the second time. I'm like, come on, to a Roy Hodgson side. Are you serious? But
that's a good point.
But enough, about the manager who is supposedly had a better start than Sir Alex Ferguson. On to Jordan Ayew. He's actually an interesting one. He's definitely been an active first team player in Patrick Vieira's side, but like some of the others on this list, he's definitely not on the younger side. He's getting older, but he's been playing well under Patrick Vieira. He's actually been playing decently well.
As much as he doesn't score many goals, but he did score against Southampton the other night. He's actually been playing well. He really has. There's been a lot of calls for Michael Olise to start games. But like I said, Ayew's played well. He's kind of held down that spot. And but on that note, he's obviously now gone to AFCON. He's gone there for 17 days, I believe. So, at least he'll probably get a shot. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the summer. However, the tough one. Should we keep him? If he's going to become a squad player, yes. Otherwise, he can go.
Fair enough. But I'm not sure Jordan Ayew would accept as a role as a squad player. But I mean, that'd be for Crystal Palace. That'd be a great squad player to have. Someone like Jordan Ayew, I think that'd be a great squad player to have for Crystal Palace. Obviously, speaking in that respect. Next to Jean-Philippe Mateta, and when he came in, I thought there'd be a player that would be brilliant for Palace. And we even saw in the second half of the season when he was given the opportunities, I saw good movement off the ball, but clearly, very, very clearly this season, it just has not worked out. I don't think he's featured at all. And if not, very limited games under Patrick Vieira. This one's, he's young. He still has a good amount of potential, but it's just not worked out. Surely he has to go.
He's not good enough. You know what it is? When he first came in, and I was thinking to myself, why ain't Roy Hodgson playing him? Like, I couldn't get my head around it. We needed to go, and he wouldn't even bring him on and stuff like that. Then I realized he has a clause that if he was to play 15 Premier League games, then we have to sign him permanently. And then I was like, so that's why he's not playing, because he's not good enough. And there's no point of putting ourselves in a financial hole in signing a striker. I think we'd have had to sign him for like 20 mil. Who is just not good.
Definitely.
He's not good. So I believe we're terminating his loan in January, because we were meant to have him to the summer, but I think we're terminating the loan in January, and I think he's going to go on loan elsewhere. But yeah, he can go. He can go.
Definitely. I agree with that 100%. And last but not least, we have Christian Benteke, who has also had a very good season by his standards. He's been scoring more goals. Of course, when they played against Arsenal, I didn't even have to predict it. I already knew Benteke was getting on the score sheet or was going to do something in that game, like he always does against Arsenal. Typical against Liverpool or Aston Villa, he usually always does something. And so I don't know why it's always those three clubs that he finds himself playing well against. So it's the former clubs in Arsenal. I don't really know why. But yeah. Christian Benteke, he's also on, I think he's 32 now, on the older side, but he's been playing well this season. Would you keep him around?
He's been playing well without scoring many goals. And it's a bit annoying because the chances he missed have actually cost us. The Newcastle game springs to mind at home. He had about 3 or 4 chances that game. And we would have had that game dead and buried. And then Wilson scores an absolute worldie with an overhead kick. But that's the problem with Christian. He plays well in the sense of how he links up the play and stuff. But he just misses too many chances. Way too many chances. At the end of the season, I'd let him go. And the biggest factor is his wages.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, his wages. I mean, how much does he even make? I heard like around 100 grand.
He's close to the 100 grand mark. So
100 grand a week for Christian Benteke. Yeah, honestly, I think we pay. I don't know. I think we play Mason Greenwood the same, if not a little less or a little more than that. So yeah, that is just shocking to me. I would agree with that. But I mean, as a squad player, if you were to take a wage cut, would you keep him around?
No, the way that our youth is going at the moment, I think we need to just bring in better quality, to be honest. Because we've got odds on the door anyway.
Definitely.
And if we want to be a side that's trying to aspire, the person that we should be bringing off the bench shouldn't be a Benteke, it should be someone better.
Definitely.
So, yeah, he can go. He can go.
Fair enough. And next, of course, we have decisions on these two. And these two have been Crystal Palace's shining lights this season. I'll start with Wilford Zaha. This man has been rumored to leave Crystal Palace for God knows how long. Really, honestly, like forever. This man has, and it's been very clear he's been wanting to go. When especially when you look at the man's body language, especially in the past few seasons under Hodgson, it just, yes, he was going about his business and still playing well, but even after he scored, there wouldn't be any goal celebration, nothing. It just looked like he was irritated. This season, his body language definitely looks like he's in to win it. He looks like he's committed to the cause, just purely by looking at the man's body language. Contract expires in 2023. I think he's 28 or 29 years of age.
Yeah.
What would you do with Wilford Zaha if he still wants? Do you still think he wants to leave Crystal Palace?
You know, he probably does. Like every professional footballer would want to play at the highest level. You know, so we can't ever knock him for that. The fact that he went to Man United initially didn't work out, and he came back. Like I got to respect him for that. If we are to get between 60 and 70 million for him, then yes, I'll let him go. Because bear in mind, 25% of that goes to
Manchester United anyway.
You know, but if it's anything less, he can stay with us. I mean, obviously, if you end up leaving on a free transfer, that will be when he's 30. You know, so it wouldn't be so much of a knock on us. So I'd love him to stay. I still think he's a very pivotal player for us. Not only that, now you can see that we're building quality around him. before there was such a reliance on him whenever he played. But now, like I said, you got Conor Gallagher who we'll get into, you got Eze, Elise, Edouard. You know,
Yeah, that is another one.
There's so many players around him now that it takes the burden off him and he can just enjoy playing this game.
100%. I agree with that in entirety. And Wilford Zaha, for me, he's always been a great player. He's always been a fantastic player for Crystal Palace. Over the years, honestly, he has been. And for me, this season for me has been the first season where I look at Wilford Zaha and he has not been their most important and the best player, because the best player and their most important player is the one jumping on his back, Conor Gallagher. Now, this kid, I saw him on loan. The first time I ever heard of him was when he went on loan to West Brom, and when I'd watch him play, I just notice him more on the pitch, whether it's him running around, whether it's him on the ball. He would just be more noticeable than any of the other surrounding West Brom midfielders. And I'm thinking, he seems all right. I want to see what he can do. I don't know, maybe at a better Premier League club. He's gone to Crystal Palace and he has absolutely smashed it. For me, he's right up there with Young Player of the Year. 100% the best loan deal of.
Listen, this kid is phenomenal. He's so good. It's going to be very difficult for us to keep hold of him, though.
100%. And let's say, hypothetically, Chelsea said, okay, if you want to buy 35 to 40 million pounds.
The thing is, there's reports coming out saying that they want 60 mil.
60 million?
Yeah, there's a report. So I think they're trying to fend us off. I think they do want to have him back. But then he's obviously got decisions to make as well. Would he start at Chelsea? I don't think he would.
No.
Not just yet anyway. But then the other question is, would he want to sign a permanent contract with Palace? Could he maybe get into like a Tottenham? One of those Europa League sides? He's got a decision to make himself. But I would love for him to sign. If we could somehow get him for like a 40 mil, I would not complain. Maybe 40 with add-ons. 50, 60 is really pushing it. We might be able to go elsewhere and find something similar, maybe abroad and stuff. So, but yeah, he's been brilliant. The way he plays, he initiates press. He's tidy on the ball. He's got assists in him. He's got goals in him. Yeah, cannot complain.
For me, and Conor Gallagher, the footballing intelligence of this kid is just off the charts. I'm a Manchester United fan, and I had to hear someone say that Scott McTominay is better than Conor Gallagher. And I really wanted to turn around and just, I don't know, put a zipper on his mouth and just close it, because I couldn't be asked. Scott McTominay,
don't.
Yeah, exactly. That was my exact reaction. Oh God. I literally could not believe it. I mean, this kid can do everything. That goal against Everton, that was absolutely ridiculous. And Seamus Coleman is trying to taunt him and whatnot, and he just gets the ball and scores a screamer. And I'm just like, this kid, he is something truly special for me. This kid has been Palace's best player this entire year. I mean, the England call up for me. It was unexpected, but it was well deserved. I wasn't expecting him to get called up so soon, though.
No, I don't think anyone was, but I'm happy that he got the call up. But at the same time, I was like, don't get injured.
Southgate has his favorites. He would never.
He really does.
Yeah, and for me, Southgate's just another. He's just another topic, isn't he? Gareth Southgate. I honestly.
He's not a good coach.
On that topic, did you think his new contract was well deserved? I mean, getting us to a final, and then we know what happened after that. I mean, he is the international, version of Brendan Rodgers, just bottling it every single time.
Yeah. I think he should have. They shouldn't have renewed it. They should have given him the World Cup. Mm-hmm. And then made a decision after that.
I agree with that.
Instead of renewing, because there's a lot of new young players that are going to be blooded through. His favourites like the Hendersons, the Eric Dyers, James Prowse, they're going to be gone.
Like Calvin Phillips. I mean, I like Calvin Phillips.
I mean,
but please,
Calvin Phillips, I don't mind him too much. But who did he play in midfield with, Calvin Phillips? I can't remember. Oh, it was Declan Rice.
Yeah, I like both of them. Just stop playing them both together. Like it's so pragmatic. It's so defensive.
It is.
Like I mean, for me, I'd love to see a Rice and a Jude Bellingham, a Conor Gallagher.
Jude Bellingham should have been played a lot more games in those Euros. But the problem is he went with a 3 at the back system, which meant he had to play 2 holding midfielders.
He did against the big sides, like against Germany. He did it. I think he did it against Denmark and then against Italy. But then all the other games he would play back 4, and I was just like, what? I was so confused.
But he still persisted with obviously Rice and Phillips, which he didn't need to.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, and those are the decisions on Wilford Zaha and Conor Gallagher. I mean, if I were Crystal Palace, I'd be stumping up 50 million for Conor Gallagher. I'd start there.
Yeah.
And get.
But yeah, we need to keep them both, hopefully, somehow, some way.
Both of them are they're both fabulous. And last but not least, what and where do you think Vieira should prioritize in strengthening this January?
The whole back 5. The back 5. Like I said, we're just short. I think we need another right back. We need another left. We're just short in those areas. We're not getting 5 players in January. It's almost impossible to sign in January.
Of course. If you were to say you'd strengthen, if you were to say you'd strengthen 3 positions, 3 areas, where would you strengthen?
I'll get a centre back in.
Any specific names of players that you'd be on your list, or just nothing?
Saliba looks good. The
Definitely.
one that Arsenal didn't want. He looks good.
They brought him in for 30 like something million pounds, and
yeah. But if there was a player that really isn't getting like, he's not like renowned name, but Tarkowski from Burnley.
Oh yeah, that actually.
He's in this last year of his contract, so he's going to go on a free transfer. So he would be decent cover as well, to be honest. So maybe someone we can get for a couple million quid. I'll trust Joe Wharton in the season and Clyde. So I'll go centre back, left back. We are linked with Kazawa from
PSG. That'd be in a very odd suit.
And he's a good attacking fullback as well. Once again, cover for Tyreek Mitchell or just added experience.
Competition.
And competition, yeah, which is needed. And I'll say goalkeeper. And like I said, Dean Anderson will be a great fit. So Dean Anderson, Kazawa, and then he centre back, but Saliba if need be.
Would you say strengthen your midfield? Because for me, Crystal Palace's midfield just seems a bit weak at the moment. I think they lack.
You know what it is? I think we'll be all right when McArthur comes back. Because since he got injured, that midfield has been a bit shaky. PV made a mistake in playing Coyote and Luca, and we couldn't offer anything going forward. And he's rectified that. He's brought Will Hughes in, and Will Hughes now he's been brilliant. Like he's the one that picks up the ball from our defenders and starts our play and such. So I think midfield we're okay. Don't forget we still got Eze sitting on our bench. We've got Gyro sitting on our bench. McArthur to come back, Elise to play. Like we're fine in that department. That going forward we're fine. But the back 5 we need strengthening.
100%. And anything else to say before we wrap up this Crystal Palace January transfer window preview?
I hope we can strengthen, but if we can't, I'm not going to be mad. The business we've done in the summer was fantastic, bringing in the players that you mentioned for 66 million in total. I just hope we can continue in good stead with the season, and I like the fact that we're being noticed now.
Definitely.
Like teams now are thinking, okay, this Palace side can play football.
I agree with that.
And that's the biggest thing for us. And you can tell that the atmosphere at Sellers Park has been electric lately. The fans are excited. There's more of an anticipation. We're disappointed when we don't win games, which is weird. You know, I'm really happy, and hopefully he can continue. Next season will be the big one. If we can stay in the division again next season, because as you've seen with like Leeds, with second season syndrome, it's a real thing. The second season is always the hardest one.
100%. Well, that's all we have. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you've absolutely loved to hear what Rich has had to say, again, smash like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know. What are your thoughts on Crystal Palace this January? Do you think that they're good enough till the end of the season, or do you think they should definitely strengthen in some areas? And wherever you are watching this in the world, have a great day or evening.